Anyway, let's spin the wheel. Uh-oh. 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 All right, guys. So we're going to play Instant Expert. I will explain it to you guys before we go to the scene. But basically, the way it works is that you guys are going to yell out, type, you know what I mean? Type some ideas for what I am the expert at. I will pick one and then I will attempt to be in character and, answer a few of your questions as the expert that I am. This is a game I learned in improv, so I'll be practicing my improv with you all. So, here we go. Bears, we'll see. So, Shneerp Unleashed. So, we got one bear expert. Do we have any other ideas of what you guys would like me to be an expert on? Bears, squirrels. I will say it doesn't have to be animals. It can be if you guys insist. We can go. You need to be an expert in it or art. No, it's anything. It can be quantum mechanics, and I will pretend to be an expert in it and talk like as if I know what I'm saying, even though I don't know what I'm saying. That's black holes. and then so what's gonna happen then if Skynet I don't even know what that is. I know I should know what that is. Metals. Okay. I'm yelling just like you want me to. I like Justia. So yeah, I think moisture, kumquats, time travel. All right. So you know what? Vaccines are not that one. I think time travel. I am a time travel expert, guys. So you guys are reporters and I am on stage. I'm the time travel expert. And you guys are my audience. So, do tell, what, and just, ask me some questions. Ask me some questions about, and I will bestow upon you the knowledge of my expertise as a time travel, expert. A time travel expert. Because that is definitely a real thing. That is a real situation. We've all learned from Doctor Who. It's totally correct. So, any questions about time travel? I've got infinite time to answer them. What are your thoughts on this new anti-vax trend? Well, throughout time, I've seen a lot of different things. Back during the plague, there was, people had to wear those big masks or whatever. When people don't have vaccines and vaccines are available, people die. Wrong topic. It's relevant. It's relevant to Justia. Time is relative. It is assumed if you go faster than light, would you travel back in time? So actually, if you go faster than light, you do not go back in time, but, well, so my understanding, and forgive me for I'm actually trying to do my own understanding of this, like, in reality, you don't go back into, like, you can't go faster than light because our bodies are made of particles, and when they go that fast, they're not going to recombine in the right way, right? So it's not that you would travel back in time. You wouldn't be traveling at all because you probably won't be recombining. But in terms of time travel, like, the one way that we can, without a doubt, essentially time travel is by air travel, spaceship travel. You do end up gaining or losing a little bit of time depending on which way you're going. How did you break through the problem of moving forward instead of just backward in time? Well, the good thing is it was not hard at all. to learn how to move forward. We are all always moving forward. So it's easy. No problem there. This is heavy, Doc. What is a winning lottery number this week? Well, although I personally obviously have the ability to travel in time, you know, I cannot share such things. Everybody knows the things that you can't do with time travel, lottery numbers, unless you're the guy from that one Stephen King novel, or you know, having sex with your mom, unless you're the guy from Back to the Future. Assuming there are 26 dimensions, which dimension would be the dimension where time exists at all points? Where time exists at all points. Well, shneerp in English, always in English, not good at other languages. So, where time exists at all points. Good question. Which horse should I bet on this week? This is a heavy job. But yeah, assuming there are 26 dimensions, which dimension would be the dimension where time exists at all points? Well, as an expert, I would suspect the 26th dimension because, you know, we have our first dimension, we got flat. Second dimension, oh shoot, I may be getting that wrong already. But you know, it's building on. Once we're on the 3-dimensional, we're where we are. Fourth dimension is time. Fifth dimension is, you know, then you starts getting hard to figure out. But observe that gravity affects time. Black holes being extremely of gravity. Is time infinite or anti-infinite of time? Gravity affects time. Black holes being the extremely of gravity. Is time infinite or anti-infinite of time? So I'm pretty sure, I mean, I know because I'm an expert. Time is not infinite. We scientifically, you know, in a sense, we hope that it is, but we don't know for sure. We can't find the end of time. We've not been able to find that information. So it's not, the scientific community is not sure yet. Must tell us more about shneerp 2099. Yes. Why do you not age when you go forward in time? Well, so if say I as an individual were to use my special time travel machine and go forward in time, I would be jumping ahead to meet, well, that's actually a good question. How do you control when where you will end up? Easy. Use the TARDIS that you can program it. There's a little module in the middle. Next question. 11-dimensional space. New studies by self-proclaimed expert, as in me, says time isn't real, it's just a measuring unit. Say something about it. Yeah, well, it's that's true. Speaking of the extremity of a black hole would time be stretched to infinite or shrunk to the opposite? In my understanding, as you get closer to a black hole, if you are the thing getting closer to the black hole, you are experiencing time going slower and slower and slower and slower. So it would be, I believe time would be I'm 60% sure time would be stretched to infinite. Should birth and death be considered the same event? From the fourth dimension, from a fourth dimensional standpoint, yes, they're the same event. Use the TARDIS, yeah. When can butterfly effect be ignored? If it can't be at all? If this butterfly effect has set into effect, does it affect others, or has the butterfly effect separate the person who triggered the effect? Excuse me. So unfortunately, in our world, we all can affect each other, right? We're not individuals in that sense. Like, we're all just working on the same planet, right? So obviously, we affect each other. How are we to believe you have actually been to your future? What do you mean, how? I am the time travel expert. Do you not see my glasses? I do this for a living, okay? So you gotta respect it. Wouldn't going back in time create a paradox if you interacted with yourself? Yeah, that's something that's possible. It's gonna be a lot easier. Well, the thing is, it's like we're constantly traveling to the future in time. We're doing it as we speak. We're all time traveling to the future, right? But going back in time is gonna be really difficult because, yeah, then if you go back in time, you could potentially change things. So then you're never born. So then automatically undoes everything. It's tricky. Um, uh, wouldn't going back in time create a paradox? Yeah, I'm reading. All right, was trying to respect. Yeah, I'm still a little stumped, guys. To be honest, we at the Time Research Institute, fraudulent and deceptive, using the knife. Is heat and motion related to time? Heat and motion. Heat and motion. Well, from my perspective, as a timeologist, everything is related to time. Like, from our perspectives, living within 3 dimensions on our tiny planet, we're not seeing the axes of things such as, motion or heat or any other kind of thing like that. It's all outside of our perception, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening and affecting time in some way. Is there a timeline where I pick Fruit Loops over Fruity Pebbles? Absolutely, Sloth Bear. Even though everyone knows Fruity Pebbles are better. And thanks for doing a good beer point. Help me this. What if you went back to a time when the heat death of the universe happens? Wait. Sorry, DP first. What if you went back to a time when another future version of you went? Would there be 2 or 3 of you, and would that be considered time inception? So, if multiple of the same instant, well, would it be time inception? I don't think that's not the technical word we use in the biz, DP. It wouldn't be time inception. But if you went back and met another future version of yourself, it would be very important not to interact with each other in case you messed up something in your future as well as in your past. Heat and motion is related to time. When the heat death of the universe happens, will time cease to exist, or will time go backwards as heat and motion ceases to exist? So that's something that, according to a video I watched recently, is sort of unknown at this point. That it's unclear if it will completely cease to exist, or if some other process will begin happening that we have yet to discover the mechanics of, So there's a chance that, we don't know if time is infinite. It could be, but it could not be. Why does Shneerp know so much about this? Shneerp likes watching science videos sometimes, but Shneerp doesn't know everything in any sense, and is probably wrong about at least half of what Shneerp is saying. But the space expert right here knows everything she's saying. Can a butterfly effect even happen? If time is linear, that means traveling back in time, anything that would happen should happen. Yeah. So, but I think a butterfly effect can happen going forward. It can't happen going backwards, right? But yeah, it's for example, is it not a butterfly effect that, for example, Sloth Bear spins the wheel of misfortune, we get instant expert, one of you, I forget who now, said, something about time travel, and then I started talking about it, and then, you know what I mean? Is that not a butterfly effect in itself? So can't that happen, unless I'm misunderstanding what that is? But traveling back in time, anything that would happen should happen. But yeah, that's, I guess, a different thing that goes back to the concept of determinism. And it's not that everything that has happened should happen. It's just that, yes, I personally, myself, Shneerp, argues that the world is deterministic, but most people disagree. But I think so. What happens if you go forward in time but run into a past version of you going to the same time, or even a future version of you going back to that time? One of the stronger theories of time travel is that traveling back in time to remove an event would effectively remove the reason you ventured into the past in the first place, and thus impossible. Yeah, that is a good point, Dartsins. And yeah, which answers DP's question that theoretically, yeah, if then you remove that thing, and that's sort of grappled with in the Stephen King novel, like 11 something 63 or whatever. Who's a doctor? Why is time so wibbly wobbly? It's a great question. What is your name? Time travel expert? Did you go to school for this? Yeah, well, they call me the time travel expert. My name is Dr. Shneerp. And yeah, I studied at the premier time travel academy at Hogwarts, time travel division at Hogwarts. Is it possible that we're living in reality where everything is just a simulation? We're really in a giant Sims game? Absolutely. That is entirely within the realm of possibility. You know, there's a lot of stuff in the world. We, unfortunately, are limited entirely by our own ability to perceive, and our perceptions can be flawed. If time is relative, was R. Kelly right? That age is just a number. So, in the sense that, you know, time is relative in that, like, an age is just a number in some senses, but I think it's fair to say that when you are a 30-something-year-old man, getting with 14-year-old girls is inappropriate, sexually or emotionally. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, time can be relative, but it doesn't mean adults who have sex with children are good. What happens if you go back and prevent yourself from becoming an expert in time travel? Do you cease to exist? Yeah. You know, that's a very good point, DP, and that's something that we at the Time Travel Academy of experts at Hogwarts have work very hard to prevent, because yeah, it is very important. Everyone knows that you can't go back and change anything. So the thing is, the reality is that real time travel, you can't go that far back, because otherwise it's basically impossible. 10 out of 10 wheel spin. See the above. You remove the reason you ventured back in time, so you never went back in time, thus couldn't change it. Yeah, that's a very good point, Darthsins. An astute observation, one might even say. There is only so much you can do when time traveling. But the good news is that, you know, being an expert in time travel at Hogwarts, we are on the cutting edge of working out all these details of how time travel works, you know? There's a theory that time is never actually moving forward and is just a series of slides in a slideshow. Yeah, and I think that's a way to sort of describe, like, assuming the fourth dimension, essentially someone from the fourth dimension looking down at us, looking down at us in the third dimension, they're just like, they could pick out a slice of what we're doing at any moment and see our whole experience as just like a slide. So yeah, I think that's a good point. There are a lot of things we can't understand in the same way that an ant walking on a piece of paper can't like perceive the whole of what we're doing, that we could be that relative to something else. Are there off-limits areas of time travel? Oh, of course. Where you change the past but only create a new branch of the multiverse, but the original timeline remains intact? Yeah, potentially. But yeah, no, there's definitely, everyone knows you can't go back in time any time around any of the major world wars, and you can't go back in time, because at least, I'm trying to remember the logic, and I will admit I'm just thinking of, well, I admit nothing. I'm an expert from Hogwarts, but there is fixed points that cannot be altered. Yeah, and I think that's from that one Stephen King novel. But it's a date 11/27/63 or something like that. Go forward in time facing backwards. Are you really traveling backwards in time? See, you can't really move forward in time facing backwards, because it takes your whole self there. It doesn't really matter. Time doesn't respect which way you're facing. Baby Hitler problem. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. A baby Hitler problem, which is what it all often comes down to at the Time Institute here. But anyway, I'm very busy, got places to go, people to see, times to be. So me, the time expert from Hogwarts, will be seeing myself out. But thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. What happens if you go to the future but there's no world to travel to due to annihilation or some other doomsday type event? Yeah, then you're kind of just stuck. The weirdest Marvel Snap match. Agreed. Agreed. Hold up, I need my tinfoil hat. Don't worry, I've got extra. Anyway, let's get back to Snap. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my other videos too.